Welcome to episode 543 of the show. Today we're going to cap off the conversations that we've been having over validating your business ideas using either sales or traction. The central question in this whole debate is, how do you prove that your idea is workable? How do you prove that it's tenable? How do you prove that it's achievable? So, in the past couple of days, let's say the last 4 or 5 days, we've gone over different ways that you can show how your idea can work using either sales, that's the amount of people who pay you for your product or your service, or traction, the number of people who sign up for your revolutionary app or whatever it is that you're trying to roll out. And if you approach business this way, then you're going to be able to show to yourself, to your spouse, to your investors, to whoever it is that you need to prove it to your bankers, that your business idea can work. So always have it at the back of your mind that if you want to validate your business idea, if you want to prove that it is worth spending more time and money on, then the tracks that you're going to use are either going to be sales or traction. Now, since we've gone over several episodes and gone into some details over what validating using sales entails and also validating using traction, today I'm going to cap it off by just explaining how it's not all difficult and technical as it sounds. Because with either track that you take, whether you go the sales route or the traction route, it all starts with having a simple conversation. And this is how. If you decide to go the sales route, you want to prove that your idea works. You want to prove it to yourself and to your spouse so that both of you can now spend more time on it or more money on it. All you have to do is to have some simple conversations with a few people. You have to speak to your friends, your family members, your associates, and see how many of these people get to buy this wonderful, revolutionary new product of yours. Let me go back to the old example that I've always given on the podcast. And let's say you're a wedding photographer and you think that wedding photography is going to be the rage, or that wedding photography is something for the upscale, sophisticated market. So, to validate that this idea works, all you have to do is speak to your friends, your family members, and your associates and see how many people buy. Eventually, you're going to run out of friends, family members, and associates to talk to. So, eventually, you're going to have to start talking to total strangers. And the process is the same. How many people are going to buy this revolutionary, new, sophisticated idea of exclusive black and white wedding photography? That's going to be the central question. If you talk to a bunch of people, you're not able to get some sales, then it means that your idea is not a valid one, and it's time to stop depleting your finances. That's from the joint account that you and your wife have, or that you and your husband have, and it's time to look on for a new venture. On the other hand, if you're able to get some sales, then it means that this is a worthy endeavor to spend more time and money on. Now, of course, you're going to point out, and rightly so, that it depends on whether you talk to the right people, on whether you set up your targeting right, or your ICP, your ideal customer profile. I think the ideal customer profile, that's what our folks in marketing like to call it. So, yes, it all depends on you targeting the right people, and it also depends on you having the right sales knowledge and good customer service and good fulfillment and other business practices like that. So, yes, all those things are important. But for the sake of argument, let's just assume that you have targeted the right people and that you have the requisite knowledge and skills to make this thing work. If you don't, then that's also feedback that you can take from the whole process, and then you know that you also have to learn how to target properly, and also to get the right kind of sales knowledge, customer service, customer fulfillment, relationship building, and all those sorts of things. Now, bottom line, however it is that you look at it, you see that it starts with a simple conversation. You talking to your friends, you talking to your mom, your dad, your cousins, folks at work, eventually total strangers, people in church. You hear it's announced in the wedding bulletin that so 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 and so are getting married on blah 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 blah. You find out who the person is, you make your pitch. It always starts with a conversation, so it's not as technical or as hard as it sounds. And it's the same thing with traction. So you have this revolutionary idea for an app. The example that I gave is an app or some messaging platform that is going to connect rural farmers in Oshun, in Ondo, and in Kwara State to commodity traders in Abuja and in Lagos. And the process is the same. You have some conversations with friends who live around those areas, with family members or associates. You see how many of them sign up to this messaging platform or sign up to this app, how many of them use it, and how long do they stick with you. Eventually, you're going to have to go beyond friends, family, and associates. You have to start talking to potential investors, other stakeholders, other total strangers, farmers that you haven't met before. Remember, in this example that I gave, you happen to go to school in Obafemi Awolowo University. So maybe you go back to school, speak to more people there, get some inroad into the farming communities, open more conversations. But as you can see, it starts with a simple conversation, trying to get traction for this idea, trying to get people to sign up to your website, or trying to get people to sign up to this messaging platform that you have set up. Of course, this also depends on you being skilled and effective in communications and relationship management. Like I said, when we spoke about sales, let's just assume that you're already good at these sorts of things. But if you're not, this whole process is going to make that painfully evident to you. And at least now you know what it is that you need to learn before you set about trying to validate your next business venture. So, either way, whether you're trying to go about validating your business idea through sales or going it through traction, I'd like to restate over and over again, it's always going to start with simple conversations. So the challenge now, especially as we're beginning a new year, and if you have a new business venture, is to learn how to have business conversations today, because that is the key to what is going to make your business journey a lot more easier, more successful, and make it shorter than it needs to be. So thank you very much for listening to episode 543. I'll catch you guys at episode 544. But until then, remember that you guys can send me messages on WhatsApp or Telegram. It can be a text message or a voice note, and the number is 080 The country code is +234. Thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys on episode 544.